And if you're gonna be the one for me, I'ma need you to keep it true. And if I'm gonna be the one for you, then you must let me come through so we can do what lovers do. On the move, me and you, just the two of us. Baby, make your move because...
Guys, episode 33. I'm beyond excited. This literally fell in my lap today, and I literally had to beat traffic to make it. It was exciting times. I was listening to this man's discography all the way home. He's got hits on top of hits. His latest one is oh hell yeah, bro. What Lovers Do is out. He's got over 106,000 plays already, and that's just on Spotify alone. Drunk on Myself, Love is Crazy, Slip, Maybe. The list goes on, man.
Let's go.
The one and only Anis.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's an honor. It's a pleasure to speak with someone who not only is awesome, but who appreciates my music. And I know you've been rocking with me for a little while, so it's always more special when I can speak to someone and I know they're really into my music, and that's special.
Bro, 100%, man. I first of all, I appreciate you coming on short notice. That is, I hit him up on Twitter. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try it, because he had tweeted that, he was just on another podcast. And I was like, bro, I want you on mine. He's like,
hey, listen, it's so funny because I know we spoke about this in the past and we were like, we got to link up. We got to link up. And I think it just never worked out because sometimes with me, I'll be like, go through these moments where I'm like, I'm going to say yes to everything. And then I'm like, oh shit, I already committed to other things. But today I was like, you know what? I just dropped the song and I can't complain about how the song is going to perform if I'm going to say no to opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
I want to talk about that, bro, because your perspective on this shit is half, almost most of the reason, but the music is fire. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, I discovered your first song that I heard, I'm going to be honest, was Slip. And then, I just saw it. And then I see you on live with Justin Bieber. I'm like, what the fuck? This guy, this guy is going off. Then I looked into you a little more and I was like, okay, this guy's from Nova. Like, I grew up in Maryland, like not too far from
the vibes.
Yeah,
DMV,
man.
baby.
DMV, man. Well, shit, bro. Yeah. So, but your perspective, I've been following your music since I discovered you. And even if this podcast wasn't my thing, I'd be following your shit regardless. So, as important as good as your music is, I really am inspired by your views and how you look at situations, like good or bad. I love the way you view things. So let's start there, man. Let's start. I wanted to ask you this, and this question was, what motivates you? Like, what motivates you to keep fighting every day? The good fight, of course.
Yeah, it's what motivates me is the fact that I believe the world is full of abundance. And I believe that every day, if you are willing to see it, there are endless possibilities and endless blessings that can fall into your lap, right? And so what motivates me is the fact that when I get up, I can go get any of those blessings. I can go get any of those opportunities. Like, you really can. You really can. I know it sounds cliche. It sounds corny. People say it all the time, the world is full of abundance and, you just manifest things. And people don't really believe it because it sounds like some sort of like, I don't know, sounds like some sort of flowery language that's not real, but it's real. When I get up, when I don't like to go to sleep, right? Because I just love what I do and I want to keep doing it, right? But when I get up, I'm excited because I'm like, let's get back at it. Yeah. So like, it feels like when I was a kid and I played Madden on Xbox and I'd play the franchise mode. So it's like, you're building a story. You're like, you own a franchise. And I never wanted to stop because I always wanted to win the Super Bowl with my team. And so like, I hated when my parents would tell me to go to sleep, but then I'd get so excited after school. I'd be like, I got to go pick up the sticks and like win that Super Bowl. That's how my life feels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude, that's dope. I mean, and you're a Bills fan. I've been watching.
Yes,
yeah. What made you a Bills fan, by the way? Were you born in Virginia?
I was, but my dad's from Niagara Falls, New York. So, Bills fan is hereditary. And, for the longest time, I'd say, it's a curse. It's hereditary, right? But now I never meant it was a curse because I always loved being a Bills fan.
Yeah.
But now when you say it, for the first time in my life, right, of almost 3 decades of living,
yeah,
it's now something where people are like, oh, like, good
Oh,
for
shit.
you. Like,
Hell
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Bro,
But
Bills
it never
Mafia.
was before. It never,
Yeah.
dude, it was the cause of so much ridicule and mocking growing up. But you know what? That's exactly how we love it. You got to suffer through it, and then one day you will reach the promised land.
It's true, man. You got to stick with you gotta stick with your team regardless of their record, regardless of where they're at, regardless of what people say. You got to stay true to who you love. Hey, and I'm a Washington fan. Not
So you know what it is.
yeah. And I'm not going to talk about Bills Washington Super Bowls, but you know what I'm saying. But like,
no. You know, it's funny. I was just at the Bills Washington game a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But like, you know, people ask me, how do you have the belief in yourself that you can make it in music? Is like part of the reason is being a Bills fan. Like you grow up knowing like, I'm going to rock with this cause no matter what anybody else thinks. I'm going to stay behind this team even when you laugh at me for it, right? So growing up with that mentality, like, I mean, the Bills were just one underdog identity I had. Much deeper than that is the identity of being a Palestinian or being an Arab, you know? So, but really having that in my life, like it wasn't foreign to me when I started making music and people laughed. Like I've been laughed at before for being an underdog. Like this is not something new to me,
Right.
You know?
Right, bro. You're speaking the gospel, man. I know I completely relate to everything you're saying. And there's something about dealing with shit. It gives you character, right? It
Yes.
builds.
Yes.
And I, like you said, Washington, I moved to the States. So I'm a brown boy too. Persian though, right? Persian background.
My best friends are.
Really? For sure. All right. But yeah, like I wasn't born here, right? So like when I have kids, my kids are going to be the first of my bloodline that's first generation. Wow. Yeah. So there's something special about that, but not to go off on a tangent. But what you were saying about dealing with your team, going through the lows for all these years, I'm still going through it, right? With Washington. Yep. And so there is something about that because the day that, and I know it'll happen eventually once we get a freaking new name, but yeah. So like, I don't even know what to call them right now, but you know, it's true. And my basketball team, and that's my favorite sport, by the way, is hoops. And I've seen you, I know you love hooping too, but
I love it.
Yeah. It's like Bulls fan, Washington fan. Those have been my teams. I fuck with the Ravens.
A good thing in the 90s.
Yeah. When I was a little kid. Exactly. So that's how I became a Bulls fan. But you know, so I've been dealing with the shit, but Bulls are looking promising this year. So I got my hopes up for that. But man, you're right about everything you said. And I hope the Bills go far in the AFC. Thanks. And but man, getting back to your music, man, and what motivated you, and let's go back to when you first discovered your love for music. And does it run in your family, or how did that all come about?
It runs in my family. You know, growing up, I thought about this the other day, how weird it is. Growing up, we lived in a very small home, 6 people, small home, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. And in a house that small, my parents still dedicated about 1/3 of the house to the room on the farthest left side that was called the music room. Okay. Piano, drums, guitar. And despite all that, I never grew up playing the instruments. My dad played piano and drums. My sister is an incredible piano player. My mom could play the guitar. And in the midst of all of it, words were my instrument, you know? So I grew up listening to the music they listened to, and they would play me, you know, Eva Cassidy, Nina Simone, Nora Jones, you know, Jim Croce, James Taylor. So that's like kind of what I was raised on. And then my sister kind of exposed me to like, you know, John Mayer, India.Arie, John Legend. And then, you know, I picked up my own artists, you know, whether it's Lauryn Hill, Los, you know, I picked up one way or the other along the way, storytellers and lyricists that showed me that the word of an artist is his greatest instrument. Yeah. And And that's kind of how I got into it. So I started freestyling when I was 15. I'll still remember the exact day. I was in my hand-me-down 93 E-Class Mercedes-Benz, 200 and however many thousand miles on it for my uncle.
Yeah.
Sitting next to my best friend Yusuf, who's half Persian, half Lebanese. And we had What the Hook Gonna Be on, but it wasn't an instrumental. It was the actual song.
Yeah.
And we just started freestyling over the song. And I think in that moment, I realized, oh shit, I'm good at this. Like,
Yeah.
So I never stopped doing it. Freestyled all the time through high school, through college, through law school. It was the common thread in my life of music. And so, that's really how I got started.
It's funny you say that you grew up with a family of musicians, because myself, not too far from where you're at in Maryland, right? I grew up in Montgomery County, and went through the same setup, right? We had a little, it was a quadplex, right? That was our house. And my parents came from Iran, literally like threw everything out and started from zero, you know what I mean? And it ties into religious reasons and shit like that, because we weren't Muslim, right? We grew up Baha'is. I don't know if you've heard of them, but yeah. So anyway, in Iran, they're persecuted, right? So they're not accepted. My dad had a dope ass job in Iran. They closed that business down 3 times, to the point he didn't even want to leave Iran, right? He loved that country. That's his home. Understandable. I never forget, we sat down around our little coffee table in Iran. He said the words, "We're leaving." He said, "We're leaving." We didn't even, and I was like maybe 6 or 7. He didn't specify the US. In fact, US was our last choice, but we had to go through a second country to come here. We went through Pakistan, and then luckily, and I say luckily because a lot of people get stuck there to get their passports and their processing done. And their visas, it takes a long time. For us, it luckily only took 7 months. Long story short, we end up coming, we get accepted to America. America was closed in 95 for Iranians. So then they said they randomly opened, and then the embassy called us in Pakistan. They're like, "They're taking people. You want to go?" And my dad was like, "Let's go." Like, it was like that, bro. It was crazy. And the way we went to Pakistan was crazy. Like on back of two pickup trucks, like in the middle of the night, no lights, their headlights were off, and they were going like 90 miles per hour, bro. And like in the desert, like we had no idea where we're going. And I remember my dad asked the guys, like, "How do you know where you're headed?" He goes, "You see that flashing light?" Which we couldn't see no fucking flashing light. There was no, it's like, and my dad was like, "I mean, no," but he's like, "That's what I'm aiming for." And we were like thinking, bro, there's like wild animals gonna be coming, like crossing the road here. You know? It's
you play a lot. That's the lottery.
That's the lottery, bro. Exactly. So we got here. Luckily, I'm blessed. I had an opportunity, right, to come here and get the education, and then be able to pursue my dreams, pursue my passions. So, I mean, that's why I love your shit, because it's like we almost have similar upbringings. Anyway, we had a house in Maryland, small ass house. We had basements. They don't have basements in Cali, but they had basements over there. And
the one downfall of Cali.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to be buried under with earthquakes. That's why they don't have them. But shit. So like my first instrument was the drums, right? I started singing at 3, but then it was a Persian song, but then the drums, my dad surprises me with the drum set, which my cousin is a jazz drummer, which I actually want to talk to you about, because a lot of the artists he's told me, they're all jazz influenced. So that's cool. So man, anyway, I can relate. And so you talked about going at 15, you found out that you got rhythm, you got flow. When did you kind of cross over to singing?
Oh, I think I sang my whole life, but I sang in the closet. You know what I'm saying? I sang when nobody was around. I sang when I was in the car by myself. And as a kid, I had that like weird belief in my voice. I was like, man, I have a great voice, but in front of other people, I never wanted to do it. It was always like a fear of judgment, right? Mm-hmm. A fear of judgment and a fear of praise. I was like, if they like it, I don't know if I'm going to want to feel that praise. And if they don't like it, I definitely don't want to feel that judgment.
Yeah.
But around the time where I was just finishing up law school, and I had decided I wasn't going to practice law, and I had decided I was going to start a vlog. I made a personal vlog, and after a few episodes, it became almost intuitive. I was about my life, right?
Yep.
So I was sharing everything. And so I just started singing on a vlog one day, and I was like, wait a minute, do I want to share this with the world? But I was like, shit, I mean, if this vlog is about my life, I can't hide it, right?
Yeah.
And so I shared a few covers, like John Mayer songs, Drake songs, like whatever it was. I was just singing, like, and I was having fun with it. And, you know, immediately, the first time I did it publicly, immediately, it was as if every ounce of fear disappeared, because not only did I get all the positive feedback from people that was nice and reassuring, but I think what I experienced is when you're afraid of something, do it once. You know what I'm saying? Do it once. And you might be like, yeah, I'm never doing that shit again. Or you might be like, holy shit, why did I wait so long? This is not that scary. And that's kind of what it was like with singing. It was like the moment I did it once, I was like, why did I hold back for years? Why did I deprive myself? And never again. I never will again.
But then you felt that power, bro, and then you went for it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's crazy because I know exactly what you're talking about. And the craziest thing of all of that is the fear is all bullshit. Like, it's not even, it's just made up.
It's in your own head.
It's
100%.
all in your head, dude. It's all in your head. It's crazy, man.
And that's so true across life. You know, once you realize how many barriers and boxes and rules you've created in your head, it's so freeing, because you're like, oh, these can all disappear right now. That's it. You know, and your life just becomes like a million times more colorful and bigger, and it's just like, holy shit, like this is a better way to live.
Yeah, man. I describe it as we have tunnel vision to a certain point age, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you break those walls down and you see it. You're like, oh shit, there's so much more out there, man.
That's so real. That's so real.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, I completely understand that journey. And I mean, if it means anything, I'm proud that, you know, a fellow Middle Easterner is doing it and doing it big, because that's what I'm doing, you know. And music is my first love. It'll always be my first love. The podcast and the influencer game, I've grown an admiration for it. And it's beautiful. My whole purpose behind this podcast is, it started with togetherness, right? I noticed that you started putting out songs on Spotify in 20, right? I'm assuming it was after the pandemic was like full force, right? So yeah. So, you know, it was same for me, man. This country has so many, they'll give you so many reasons to be divided, right? And it's like, with the political side, and then the coronavirus, and like all these reasons, people were finding reasons to go in different directions. And I was just like, I told my wife, I'm like, I need to speak about this, right? And I was like, and more importantly than me speaking, I want to bring people of all shapes and colors on here, and I wanted to show, like, bro, it's all made up, right?
It's so important to open that dialogue, because it's like you said, divisiveness is like so easy to buy into. It's so easy, like conflict is easy to sell. You know, people like, it's a simple dichotomy, us versus them, 1 versus 2, A versus B. But it's not as seductive to the weaker part of humanity, to sell unity, to sell cohesion, to sell peace. Like that's not, like, we're all humans, and like we are weak, and we do have that weak part of us that thrives on pettiness, on drama, on division. But you know, I so deeply admire what you're doing, because that's the only way we're going to heal as humans, is when we come together and realize, like, we're very similar, you know.
I mean, you said the word humans, right? It's what are we other than that? Like, other than that, it's just made up. That's
how it
it,
should
man. That's how it should be, and that's how it will be, man. I'm optimistic. Because of the rise of social media, I feel like the people are taking the power back.
Yes.
Right. And
Yes.
and we're going in a direction that's so beautiful. You know, because I can find people like you that's sharing similar messages through their music. I'm doing it through my music and my podcast. And it's like there are a million others out there, man. It's just that's what people want. But fear
Yes.
sells, right? But not for long. People are going to realize that love sells even harder.
Love will always win. Love will always win.
Always win, bro. Always win. So tell me, man, you went through law school. Now that you went through law school, at what point in law school did you decide that it's not the career for you to pursue?
Oof, I don't know. I really don't know. I think somewhere maybe in my second or third year, I started realizing, holy shit, the end of this year. And when I started realizing that, I think internally, subconsciously, my heart started reconciling with my brain, like, yo, we don't want to do this shit.
Yeah.
My brain was more like, no, bro, we already told everybody we're gonna do this shit. You know, like we already told our parents, we already told our in-laws, we already told our whole community. My parents have already told everybody. So it wasn't like one definitive moment. But I will say, after I passed the bar, I had already decided I was gonna not practice law, but I was like, all right, I'll take like one interview, interview. Because I figured the only way I could do law is if it's criminal law, because that's just like the most room to be an artist, right?
Okay.
You know, especially if you're doing defense, like there's so much room for like storytelling, narrative, like. And I remember I interviewed with a criminal law firm, and pretty much the only thing they asked me was like, are you willing to like defend someone that you don't believe in, right? Are you willing to go against your belief set to do the job?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't lie to these people.
Yeah.
No, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, maybe somebody else can, and good for them, but I can't. Like, I cannot go against my heart for my craft. No way.
For sure.
And that's when I knew like even criminal law is not going to work for me.
Bro, I messed around with when I was in undergrad. I was a music major, but I decided I'm going to pursue music all the way, like second year of community college.
Love that.
And I was like, and the most relief I had was when I told my parents, and my dad was like, go for it. And he said go for it, like, you know, we want to make our parents proud, right? Like it's like he moved here from, you know, like I shared it. He came here with for an opportunity for his kids to be educated, right? So I know that took a lot of sacrifice on his part to be like to swallow his own wants for me.
Yep.
To be like, go for what you want. And I love him forever for that, because he's the oldest out of 5 siblings. And you would think the older one would be like the most close-minded, but he was actually like opposite, bro. And yeah, it's huge. So I want to know that communication with your parents. How long did it take for them to be like, all right?
They were super supportive from day one.
Oh, great. Okay.
So they, just like your parents, you know, they kind of gave me that green light.
Yeah.
But I will say, I don't think they fully understood like the depth of my commitment right away.
Nor did mine. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like they were like, okay, but like, you know, there were still times like in the following days, weeks, months where they're like, hey, how about this opportunity? I'm like, I'm not fucking practicing law. Like, you know, like not gonna happen. No matter how we try to dress it up.
Yeah.
You know, so like they were super supportive, but I think like as any parents, they want to just make sure their child is secure. And so, you know, and you can understand that and appreciate it. And like, I know when I'm a parent, I want my children to be secure. But I think one thing is it's, you know, the generations before us, they understood survival, you know, and their survival allows us the chance to thrive. And so I almost feel like if we're just settling to survive and not thrive, then we're like almost disrespecting how far our family has come. Like we got here so we can do this shit. So let's do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's perspective, man. I keep saying it. It's perspective. It's how we look at this, man. You were put on this earth with the gift of music. singing and rapping and creating dope ass songs. I was, I feel I can relate. I think I was put on this earth for the same.
Hell
And
yeah.
like you said in that interview at the law firm, you couldn't lie, man. I wear my heart on my sleeve, like to a fault, because my wife gets annoyed how honest, like, you know what I mean? She'll be like,
Dude, trust me.
yeah. So it's there's something. It's like a drug, right? I don't even do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do any of that. But like, there's a high that comes with this. Like when you're doing it, and you start seeing, and it's not about numbers. Like, I'm not just looking at numbers and saying that's what defines it. I try, and it's hard sometimes, but I try to remember, why the hell did I switch to this, right?
Yep.
Why? You can't forget that. You can't forget the love you have for this, because the media and social media and all of that and the business side can totally take your love away if you let it.
Man, you're speaking to my heart. You're so right. I mean, when you start creating with numbers, marketing, business in mind, when you start letting the success of your art be determined by algorithms and notifications, it can completely, and I think at times for me, I can fully admit this, it does sometimes ruin the love of it. Where, I might put something out and be super excited about it. Like, wow, like I might record myself, like, damn, that's the next song. Like, that's a hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put it on the line and like, it doesn't get much engagement. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, yeah, maybe it wasn't that good, but it's bullshit. It is that good. It is a hit. It's just, sometimes you got to recognize that you decide what the hit is. Not sometimes, all the time. You have to decide before you even click post, this is a hit. No matter what, 0 views or views, this is a hit.
That's it. It's so true, man. It's so true. I'm a little newer to the influencer side than you, so I'm building my shit as we go. I'm doing covers. I'm posting.
Oh yeah.
I had a band, in when I was younger, in my early 20s. I'm still in touch with all of them. We did metal though. We did like hard rock shit. Like, like that was it was cool, man. It's music is music. I've sang R&B. I've done all of that, but it's just, I think what I love as much as what love making music is meeting people, right? Meeting others and sharing or talking about a passion. It doesn't even have to be music. It can be anything. Like whatever passion you have, go for it, man. You were put on this earth for that.
Yep.
So man, what's coming up, man? What Lovers Do is fire. Like, what do you got coming next, man?
I'm going to drop a song called Leave Me. I'm going to drop a song called Too Good to Be True. And then I'm going to drop 2 more songs before the end of this year. So 4 more songs, 2021, 2022, a full album. Like, to put it in one word, what's coming up next is consistency. Like, and as an independent artist, and as any type of artist in today's world, consistency is the name of the game, because the reality is social media, as beautiful as it is, has sort of splintered people's attention spans. So if you're not consistently, delivering, people move on to somebody else. And that's okay. If people want to move on to somebody else, it's not a big deal, but I want to at least offer them the chance to still engage with my art.
Mm-hmm. That's dope, man. I've been following your posts about the new songs you got coming out. I can't wait for that. Do you have any dates set, or they're still in progress?
The moment I do, I'll let you know.
For sure, bro. No. I was just asking to see, because I want to be on top of that.
I can't wait till I know the dates.
I love it, man. I love it. All right. So Leave Me. That's the next one we're waiting for for Anis. Any last word of advice you got for people who are trying to pursue their passions?
My last words of advice for people trying to pursue their passions would be, don't let fear have any role in your life. Don't let fear have any role in your life. Fear will corrupt you. Fear will corrode you, and fear will kill you slowly. Mm-hmm. It will. If you are, whether or not you're, if you're afraid to be an artist, get rid of the fear. Be the artist. If you already decided to be an artist, but you're creating your art out of the fear of one thing or the other, remove that fear, your art will be better. Fear creates shit art. It does. And fear produces nothing good in life. It only produces anxiety, depression, sadness. It's all it does. So try your best to look, to really sit in silence and listen to your fears. Don't run away from them, run to them. Figure out what they are so that you can overcome them. And once you do that, I promise you, life, whether you're an artist or anything else, life will be twice as bright, 4 times as colorful, and 10 times as free. I promise that.
I can't top that, guys. You heard everything he said. Believe it, because it's true. Listen, I'm in the beginning of my journey. He's in the middle, maybe
And
not even in the middle. We're all in it together. That's the point. Together, guys. Anis, thanks for getting on, man. I appreciate you spending time. This has been pHumble Podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Show me some love on Instagram, Pej the Maniac, TikTok, Pej the Maniac. You can follow Anis on Instagram as well. His music is all over Spotify. Look him up. Thanks again for getting on. This has been pHumble Podcast. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.
I'ma need you to keep it true. And if I'm gonna be the one for you, then you must let me come through so we can do what lovers do. On the move, me and you, just the two of us. Baby, make your move because you've been up under my skin 100 times. Cold as winter, but feel like summertime. I've been focused on everything you do. Yeah. Baby, it's a crime. You just stole my mind. Since I met you, I don't even know this time. Maybe that's the reason why I can't stop thinking about you. Yeah. I don't know the reason why I feel how I feel. This is unrealistic, but somehow it's real. It's more than a thrill, it's a whole different feel with you. Yeah, with you. But girl, if you're gonna be the one for me, I'ma need you to keep it true. And if I'm gonna be the one for you, then you must let me come through so we can do what lovers do. On the move, me and you, just the two of us. Baby, make your move because if you're gonna be the one for me, I'ma need you to keep it true. And if I'm gonna be the one for you, then you must let me come through so we can do what lovers do. On the move, me and you, just the two of us. Baby, make your move because no one ever made me feel like this. I get a whole different high from the sight of you, girl. And I'm done, so done spending my days with somebody who can make me feel half the way I know you do. Girl, if you need me, then come see me and just please let me know. Don't chase me to replace me with somebody else who won't go to hell and back for you. 1, 2, 3, and if you're gonna be the one for me, I'ma need you to keep it true. And if I'm gonna be the one for you, then you must let me come through so we can do what lovers do. On the move, me and you, just the two of us. Baby, make your move because if you're gonna be the one for me, I'ma need you to keep it true. And if I'm gonna be the one for you, then you must let me come